Hello, art historians. Welcome back to week 1. We are still in module 2 on unit 2, and you are going to be learning about the Mesolithic and Neolithic era of global prehistory. So this unit's title is module 2, global prehistory. We are in global prehistory 2, 2.04 Mesolithic and Neolithic art. This unit's material includes 3 core works and 3 supplemental works from the Mesolithic era, as well as 5 core works and 5 supplemental works for the Neolithic era. So overall, you will have 8 core works and 10 supplemental works to check out. So let's start with the Mesolithic first. Our date range here for these pieces is around 9500 BCE to around 7500 BCE. And these pieces are located in Turkey, Algeria, and Russia. So the architectural sites that you're going to hear about, the first one is Göbekli Tepe. The second one is Thessaly and Ager with our running horned woman cave painting. And our sculpture is the Shigir idol, and our supplemental works include the Adura Cave, Ganjdare Persian pottery, the Clovis culture, Fels Cave, and the Jiahu bone flutes. So for the Mesolithic era, this is kind of a transition between Paleolithic and Neolithic, right in the middle Mesolithic, that's how I remember that. For these pieces, Göbekli Tepe is actually a really interesting one. It's got a lot of, I guess I would say, recent controversy in a way. There is a researcher named Graham Hancock who did an entire Netflix production called Ancient Apocalypse, where he's kind of questioning the dates of a lot of different places and sites that we have throughout our entire world, and whether or not there was a civilization before the last ice age. So he is questioning the actual dating of Göbekli Tepe. From an art historical standpoint, though, it tracks a lot of really important astrological phenomenons, and it's got huge megalithic structures in it, which is just totally mind-blowing how these people were able to carve stone and move it at such a large scale. The Running Horned Woman is a really interesting piece, one of the first moments you'll see of a human being, and also represented with different like clothing or jewelry or ceremonial ritual outfits. And the Shingir idol is also a really cool one. You'll take a look at some of those other supplemental works, but let's move right along to Neolithic. So for the Neolithic era, as I mentioned, we've got 5 core works and 5 supplemental. Date range for these is around 5500 BCE to 1600 BCE. And these pieces are all going to be located in Turkey, Japan, Iran, and the Arabian Peninsula, and the UK. So we've got some architectural sites as well as some sculpture and pottery. Our architectural sites include Katal Hayuk and Stonehenge, and our sculptures and pottery include the Jaman pottery, our Dogu figurines, bushel with ibex motifs, and the anthropomorphic stele. Now, your supplemental works include Gar de Lam from Malta. We've got our Evora megaliths from Portugal, the Ambum stone, the Tlatilco female figurine from Mexico, and our terracotta fragments from the Pacific Islands. So within this chapter, you probably might have heard something that sounded familiar to you. Stonehenge, maybe? Did aliens put it there? Did they not? I guess you're going to have to find out. We also have Katal Hayuk, which is a really, really cool series of caves and their cave paintings. There is a painting of a volcanic explosion that's actually done in really interesting, almost abstract-like style, though it's kind of hard to apply that term abstract to ancient works such as this, but it's mostly in very simple shapes and one of my favorite pieces. When we get into the sculptures and pottery for this, we're going to see the bushel with ibex motifs, which is one of our first examples of a dedication in some sort of necropolis or some kind of ancient cemetery. The anthropomorphic stele has always been one of my favorites. I sign all my seniors' yearbooks with a little tiny doodle of an anthropomorphic stele. Maybe I'll post a picture along with this video. And then you've got some really interesting supplemental works as well. The Ambum stone, I think, is just the cutest thing in the whole world. It is the sculpture of a baby echidna, which, when they're tiny, they're called puggles. The Tlatelolco female figurine from central Mexico is a really interesting combination of materials. We've got a core of all these different kinds of fibers with a clay exterior that's then been painted. And the terracotta fragments represent a really interesting moment where you've got kind of like codified language on pottery. Sidney Moko Mead is the person who actually put all of those in an understandable kind of dictionary or kind of guide sort of sense. But that takes care of our second unit for this module and our global prehistory. You'll be moving on to ancient Near East next, and I hope you enjoy. Until then, bye.